Well, good morning and welcome to day 3 of Haytime 2020. It's about 8:15, Wednesday the 23rd of June, and today we're hoping to get some hay baled. Probably the bigger field to get done today. Weather forecast is 2 days, Wednesday, Thursday, being really nice and sunny, warm, dry, in fact very hot. Looks fairly reliable, so I don't think there's any weather pressure there at the moment. Famous last words. And then it's still showing some possibility of thunderstorms on Friday, so really the intention is we've got to be finished these next 2 days. Possibility of carrying on Friday morning if anything went wrong, so that's not too bad. This is a small field. This is drying reasonably well. Still needs, certainly another good day on it. It's it still feels damp, but it's coming on. It'll be surprising how much good today will do. Actually, there's very little in terms of breeze, unfortunately. The forecast shows a little bit of breeze coming through this next couple of days. It makes all the difference once the hay's sort of fluffed up and you get some breeze coming through it. It'll finish it off nicely. But it's funny this time of year. It's, as I say, it's just after 8 o'clock. We get a lot of sun all through the evening, and then it'll be sunny from what's sort of 4 o'clock onwards. So it's not building up that same sort of dew that you sometimes get in other parts of the year. So it keeps drying all the time, really, which is really good. So I'm very confident that the big field, because it's quite thin, that I just need rowing up and baling today. So the plan is to give this another turn, go to my neighbour's field, turn that. It was spread out yesterday, so that'll just get turned today. Again, it's not very thick. So we'll do that, drop back onto the bigger field, row that up, and all being well, get that baled and cleared. And so that would just leave this and the 3 acres for my neighbour to finish off. I doubt we'll get that baled today, but we'll see how it goes. I mentioned at the start that we don't use the biggest and most high-tech equipment. This is relatively small scale stuff. We go for more of a premium approach rather than employees, big kit, lots of input that you then have to get a lot of output to pay for. So to actually clear bales, I use a classic sort of massive 135 with pallet forks on the back, and I just put the bales on. The barn is in the field, so it's a very short haul, so there really is no point. If I had a trailer or any sort of handling equipment for the area that we do here, it just isn't worth it. So in terms of making a margin on hay, the more input you put in terms of machinery, labour, the more you've really got to get out. So being a bit of a one-man band, I just try and strike the balance in terms of lower input and get as much output as you sensibly can. See, a lot of this hay, it's relatively low sugar, and that finds a premium market. It is surprising how many horse owners do come forward and say, look, the horses have got laminitis. They're looking for a low sugar hay. So we go for quality in terms of not dusty, and a nice, good solid bale, nice hay, but not the sort of rocket fuel that you might get for racehorses going over to Newmarket. So that's where we are. We'll go and make a start, and I'll catch you later. So this is what the hay looks like after about a day and a half on it. That is, you can feel there's some moisture there, you can feel it's damp. There's not a lot of real green material in there. There's a little bit there, but the turning now, this will just bring this out, get this dried out a little bit more. It's starting to feel a little bit crispy, but it's a little way to go. But I think today will make all the difference to it. It's setting off from a good starting point today, and I think it'll dry really well. So these are the pre-start checks you're going to go through. First of all, make sure that the bores is free. PTO shaft has got its proper cover on, so that shouldn't rotate. It's fastened there, so that'll hold it still. Arms up out of the way so that it doesn't hit the PTO shaft. This pipe goes in, is opened, and that raises the pickup reel. These two here, as you've probably just seen, push the baler across. Guards all on. PTO shaft well and truly on. The stand is up. And that's all we need for there. Check that everything there is okay. Wind these side pressure panels in. I like to make sure that they're both equal, which you can never be sure when you start off. If you make sure they're both equal, that's a good starting point. Wind these down. Again, if you make them about both equal, but you've got no way of really knowing how much pressure you're going to need, it depends how dry the hay is. Then double check that the strings are all okay. Balls are connected tight. They shouldn't run out of string. Now, the last thing to do is to take the safety catch off. Shut all the panels down. I've already checked the bale count. And when you get started, anything can happen in terms of it might not not properly first time out. Bales might be too heavy, too light. So the best thing is to do is just pull half a dozen out, stop and give them a check and see what they're like. Then you can make the adjustments. It's pointless thinking you can just sort of set off and everything's going to be perfect from the start. So that's the process now. It's about 1:30 on Wednesday. We've made a good start. I'll show you how many bales were knocked out. Been around the outside, got those. The problem with small bales now is that at the ends of the rows they start getting in the way. So what I tend to do is to just go and pick up the end ones, get those in. It's about 80 degrees, 30 degrees C at the moment, so it's pretty hot. So what I do like to do is to have a bit of a run around picking up bales now, because then that's a pretty hot, tiring job. You can then get back on the track with the air conditioning and what have you, and cool off a little bit to finish off. But just, with the bales in the way, it's just too much effort trying to keep stopping to shift them and all that sort of thing. It's better just to stop, get them cleared, and then carry on. So I'll now show you the very high-tech means of clearing these bales away. So it's about 6 o'clock on day 3 of Haytime 2020, and that's this field finished. Not sure how many bales there was on it, probably a couple hundred. It's all cleared up nicely, no big issues. It's an awkward field in the far corner. It's sort of pointy area where I just had to go in and just have a bit of a tidy up, but that's all done. So bales all fine, no strings broken or knots dropped or anything like that, and it's all good really. Quality of the hay is good, very dry. Marginal in terms of whether it's too dry, but some of the bales felt quite heavy, others a little bit lighter. But I think by and large I'm quite happy with them. So we'll start again tomorrow. So thank you very much for watching, and there's an advert coming up which is about the book that I wrote. It's ideal really for farmers, and it talks about our UK economy, climate change, biodiversity loss, and well-being. And it was written over the winter just prior to the start of COVID-19, and it looks at our negative legacy and what the actions that we've been taking and how that's going to fall on other people, both in the short term and the longer term, particularly our children and grandchildren. But I've used a scenario of a typical farmer, that everything comes from their perspective. So it's research based, trying to get the facts of each aspect, and then looks at where it was heading and where perhaps we could be heading to give us a better outcome. COVID-19 has upset things a little bit on some fronts, particularly the finances, but whatever happened during the winter in terms of finances, it was pretty bad, and subsequently it's got even worse, but that doesn't detract from the book at all. So I'll leave a link and a picture, and if anybody wants to have a read, it's something like £10 for a paperback and £6 or less for the ebook. So have a look at that, and you might enjoy reading that. Okay, thank you very much.